Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. We have a special webinar today. This is our infamous exclusive mortgage lead protection program. We wanted to make things a little different for 2016, and we've been having a huge success in the increase of leads that have been ordered since the first of the year. So we wanted to share a little bit of insight, give you tips, a little explanation of how the program works. We have a few special guest speakers on with us today. The first one is Stephen, who actually created the exclusive mortgage lead program with Levinson. We also have Kent, who's a very successful Levinson agent out of the Texas area, and he's on truly out of the goodness of his heart to help share tips, advice, good and bad, to our field force, just so our agents can get a real street agent's perspective on the ins and outs of the program. So special thanks to Ken. And then, of course, we have Joseph Loughran, our marketing vice president, on with us as well. So great stuff that we're going to go over on today's presentation. If you're brand new with us, you're going to learn a lot about the program. We'll show you some incentives we have tied into this. If you've been with us a while and you've even used the program or been on one of our previous trainings last year, this is going to be a completely different platform. So everybody will walk away with, I like to call them nuggets of information. So if you've been with us a while or you're brand new, take out a pen and paper, jot down any questions that you might have. You can also type in any questions as we're speaking in the bottom right corner, and we will try to get to those questions and announce them live and give you your answers, of course, at the end of the presentation. If we don't have enough time, I encourage you to call or email us, and we will help get you up and running and hold your hand or do whatever it takes to make sure that you're comfortable with this program or any of our tools or technology or products, anything that comes up. Okay, so we're going to start off on the bottom here, and like I just said, it's the craziest thing. Since the first of the year, our lead order for this program has literally doubled or tripled. So I'm sure the quality has gone up. Also, we just got in this testimonial, which is huge. I think Vinny is on the call with us as well. But I wanted to share this with our agents. On the bottom in the light blue box there, and I'll just quickly go over this, as a 10-year veteran in the mortgage protection field, and since I have worked thousands of leads and several dozen lead sources, I can honestly say that this is the best lead program. These are some of the best leads I have ever seen, period. Really, these leads are fresh, responsive, and exclusive. And frankly, the price point of the leads and the flexibility of the lead program make the ROI here phenomenal. So kudos to Levinson and Associates. What you have put together here is a clear winner, hands down. And this is Vinny C, who I believe is on the call with us today. So first of all, we want to thank Vinny. This is just awesome. We didn't ask for this. We didn't obviously put this together. This is a true testament of our mortgage lead program. And without Stephen, Kent, Joe, myself, this would have never have been put together. So great stuff here. We're obviously real proud of this. Okay, also, just in, now we're making some big changes for 2016. We have some really cool technology we're going to announce and show you in just another probably 4 to 6 weeks or so with our website, with a new indexed universal life software presentation system that you'll have access to, with our new agency automator CRM tool, with our new Levinson mobile app, all coming out in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So very exciting stuff. We also made some changes to our annuity division. We tied in a contest to all annuity sales that we're going to touch on briefly. Now, we just rolled out a new Eno plan that we're going to go over in a second $395 for $1 million of coverage. And the best part is it covers B-plus rated or better carriers. Well, in the annuity world, there's a lot of competitive products that come from those B-plus companies. In the past, agents didn't want to sell those because their E&O didn't cover them if they sold any products from these companies. Well, now the new E&O plan from Levinson covers those B-plus rated carriers or better. And if you write at least $100,000 of annuity premium, we give you free E&O coverage. So great stuff there as well. Or if you already have E&O, we give you cash equivalent of $400. As you can see, as you go down, if you write an additional $250, we of course give you complimentary annuity leads. We have different list lead programs. Of course, you get your E&O or the cash equivalent of $500. And then as you see, right, an additional $500,000. We have a Vegas package or a 3-day cruise or $1,000 cash. Right, an additional $750 on the very bottom there. And of course, we have a full tech package, VIP Vegas trip, 4-day cruise, or $1,500 cash. So great stuff for 2016 in the annuity world. Let's keep moving forward here, Joe. The Eno policy I was just speaking of, we teamed up with AIG. We are the only IMO that offers this plan at $395 for $1 million of coverage. You apply on our website. It's literally guaranteed issue, so you print your certificate and you are done. It literally takes about 2 minutes to sign up and print your certificate. So very simple. Also, if you have any downline agents, okay, or even agents that you're friendly with, these are things that you can use, okay, or send them over to us. We'll put them in your hierarchy. You will make a spread or an override on all of their business, okay, and we do all the servicing work for you. So once again, as you see, like the lead programs, the technology, the CRM tool, the free websites, anything that you see that you go, wow, this is great for me, and my friend Stacy down the street who's an agent, she would love this too, send them to us. Say, hey, Bill, I need to make 5% or 20% on Stacy. We do all the work. You track everything she writes in our website on Broker Gear. We have a hierarchy tracking tool, so you're not in the dark, and you literally sit back and make your override. So again, as we create new sizzle, new technology, new programs, use that stuff to build your hierarchy, okay? You can become just as attractive as we are to the field. Okay, moving forward here. Joe's going to touch on our upcoming agent training events and some cool webinars, and then we'll dive into our presentation. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So I'll go ahead and get started on the left-hand side here. Just some upcoming training events and actual webinars, just like you're attending today for next month, the 1st of March at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're actually covering how to use social media marketing kind of avenues and ways to develop new prospects using social media. So we're going to talk about how to actually develop a Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, and what are some things you can do to actually develop those client or prospect relationships. That's going to be a great webinar, especially because we offer free agent websites to all agents that actually tie into those social media accounts. And then Thursday, which is the 3rd at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're having an excellent guest speaker, and Bill will tell you it's one of the best speakers that he's seen in the industry. His name is Joe Roth. He's going to be covering a great presentation topic called Generation Matters, and it's basically marketing tips to help you access all generations, whether it's a baby boomer, millennial, or any other type of generational gap that you might have as an agent. He's even going to show you how to use pre-designed email templates and even social media campaigns to actually access those groups of people. So you're going to be able to uncover a lot of relationships and really know what each different demographic is looking for when they meet with an agent, which of course is going to help you boost sales. On the right-hand side, we have the 2016 Levinson Expo, which is Friday, April 8th. This is basically a day where we have all of our top carriers from across the country come in. We focus on sales ideas, sales concepts. We actually roll out some of those exclusive tools and platforms that Bill was mentioning earlier. You're going to actually go away from that expo with a lot of great information and ways to help generate more business throughout the rest of the year. It is free for all agents to attend, but of course, if you're from out of town or maybe not from Florida, you can actually participate in our contest. It starts at just $15,000 a paid premium to not only cover the cost of round-trip airfare, but also to actually cover the cost of that room for a night stay at that beachfront resort. The best part about that contest is it covers annuity products, life products, even if you're doing disability or critical illness or long-term care with the agency, all of that production counts towards that expo. So it's definitely a day you do not want to miss. And in the email that you received this afternoon, there'll actually be a link to register for that expo if you haven't already registered.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And like he said, that speaker, Joe Ross, is literally the best speaker I have seen in our industry. So I promise you that is one webinar you do not want to miss. It will change the rest of your selling year, I promise you. So jot that one down. Okay, real quick, we're going to go over some of the new updates to our KerryLevinson.com website and our new Levinson mobile app. So this is real cool because, A, we have designed the new website to do every single thing that you could dream of, okay, right from your third bedroom office on a Sunday afternoon. Everything is available at your fingertips. We made things very easy. You'll be able to go into the new website and figure out where all the client presentation videos are. Or if you missed a webinar from 2 months ago, we have a scrolling video library that has every webinar video that we ever put together. So real cool stuff, the latest technology that you have seen. It is awesome. Also, the new mobile app you'll be able to download for free from any iPhone, smartphone, tablet, and everything that you're able to do from your desktop, okay, in your office, you'll be able to do right from your smartphone. That includes running quotes, running an underwriting assessment, signing up a client with an online app, okay, all from your cell phone. So really, really cool stuff. We invested a lot of time and resources into this over 2015, so we're able to finally launch this to our agents. And the website will be launching next week. The mobile app will be about 3 to 4 weeks after that. So couldn't be any more excited. Moving forward here, Joe is going to touch on a few other lead programs that we offer. We're going to show you how to make sure your leads are paid for by us. Then we'll show you an actual sample lead, and then we'll dive in to today's roundtable discussion. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So real quick here, we've got some great lead programs. On the left-hand side, we've got the turnkey annuity program. Josh Hoffman is actually in our office at extension 23. He heads up the Levinson Annuity Division. This is basically a direct mail annuity lead program. We've got a great discounted rate. Contact Josh if you're looking for more information. But on average, we're getting about 2.5% average response out of 1,000 mailers specifically for that annuity program. So one of the best we've seen in a while. On the right-hand side, we have a co-op program that we use for final expense. The cost is actually $340 per 1,000. These are great. They're available through an online system. So it actually takes about 2.5 weeks for those clients to receive the mailer and actually send it back. But since they're going right to that online system, you can download your leads whenever you want, 24/7. This is a co-op program, which is how we're able to actually get that cost down so low, and it actually includes not only the postage, but the printing of the mail cards and that return mailer as well. What's so great about this final expense lead program is if you actually provide us with the zip codes, we can run a report, let you know exactly how many leads are eligible in that area for that direct mail program. That, again, is specifically for the final expense lead program. Now on to today's mortgage lead details. I'm going to run through some quick information and then go through that reimbursement program that Bill mentioned. What's very, very neat about this program that we've put together is that these leads are not shared. They're exclusive to every individual agent that orders. We do order on a weekly basis, so we actually send out an email every Monday morning. You basically have to respond to that by Monday afternoon, submit that lead order to the vendor at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. The minimum lead order is 12 leads per order, and that lead cost is $18 per lead. Now you'll see in the chart in the middle of the screen that based on how many leads you order, you actually get some additional freebies from that lead vendor. So if you're ordering 12, you're going to get 2 for free. If you order 15, you get 3, and then 20, you get 4. What's so great about this lead program, which really makes it a lot different from a lot of the other programs that are out there, is there's no minimum order contract. In other words, you can order week to week. We're not going to automatically charge your credit card or charge your account every single week. You have to opt in. You also get those leads delivered via email every Tuesday. So if you order Monday afternoon, you're going to get those leads the very next day, Tuesday afternoon. We do ask, since we are actually co-opting the actual cost of these mortgage leads, that all business be placed, of course, through our office here at Levinson & Associates. Now, Bill mentioned a great way to actually have your leads paid for, and that's what the lead reimbursement program is. So it's a very simple process here. You order your leads. When you write and actually place a policy, regardless if it's a small term policy or whole life or disability or whatever, even if it's critical illness, once that policy is placed and enforced and past that free look period, we will actually reimburse you for the lead cost of each placed policy. So if you write one policy right off the bat, you send in what we have as an actual lead reimbursement form, and then once that policy is enforced, we send you that $18 for that reimbursement. So we do have agents that have been using this program for several months and are sending us those lead reimbursement forms and getting paid back what they actually paid for on those lead costs. So a great way to get that money back, a great way to actually recoup some of those funds you're spending on the mortgage lead program.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. So moving forward here, we're going to dive into today's presentation. As I said, the format is going to be a little different than in the past. So first off, this is what an actual lead looks like. Okay, so when you get your first order, okay, if it's anywhere between 12 and 25 or 50, whatever the number is, each lead is going to come out looking exactly like that. With the borrower and co-borrower's information, okay, if there is a co-borrower, co-signer, or a joint mortgage, if you will. So everything is at the top, and then, of course, all the information is below, and each lead you will have a full sheet just like this, which is much information as we can gather. Okay, so first off, the way we're going to set this up on today's presentation is we're going to start off with Stephen, who actually created the lead program. He also knows Kerry Levinson, my father, 10 to 15 years before I even came into the business. He's been a very successful agent and GA with us over the years, and the long story short is he's now kind of dwindling away from the typical day-to-day sales and focusing 100% on the mortgage lead program. So the trust is there. We've tried many programs before Steve was even in the picture with the mortgage leads, and we've had no success. The bottom line is we don't make a penny on the program when you participate. In fact, it costs us dollars when every agent uses the program. So one thing that we ask, keep in mind, we don't make any penny. We're banking on the fact that you're going to write business from the program, and everything has to be placed back through Levinson. That's the only thing we ask for in return. So very important. So without further ado, the way we're going to spin this here is we're going to ask Stephen some questions, okay? And I want Steve to answer to the best of his knowledge and experience so all of our agents can get some insight. Me, Joe, and Kerry put together a group of questions here that we think our agents wanted to know. So great stuff here. So Stephen, anyway, welcome to the call, and we'll start off here on number one is how are these leads generated? Are they shared? Are they fresh? And are there parameters for the leads that we distribute?
Thank you, Bill and Joe. And I'd just like to take a moment and thank all the agents that are attending, and especially Ken for his valuable time chipping in. These leads are generated by direct mail. In other words, they're sent out to people who've recently closed on a mortgage. Could be a new mortgage, could be a refinance, could be a second mortgage, could be even an equity loan. But they themselves have taken the time to fill out this questionnaire that goes out to them, pretty much a profile, and then send it back. So they're taking the time, which shows some degree of interest as far as getting information, as far as how they could protect their mortgage. As far as the leads being shared, and I know Joe had mentioned something a moment ago about that, this lead program is absolutely exclusive to the Levinson Group agents. So one agent in Kentucky is not sharing leads with another agent in Kentucky. That's not to say that the people who fill these out and send them back don't respond to more than one of these direct mail profiles that go out to them. So candidly, I don't want any agent to be surprised when they do call a respondent that they say, oh, a guy called me this morning, or I have an appointment with somebody. He called me this morning and made an appointment, or whatever the case is. But more than likely, you'll have clear sailing, depending on, again, if the respondent filled out several of these or just filled out one that ended up in your hands. And as far as being fresh, the thing I can tell you from our experience is from the time that the respondent mails it off from their home, wherever that may be, to the time it ends up in the agent's hand after they've ordered it Monday evening to receive it Tuesday, is generally between 3 to 5 days. So it's fresh. It's not something that you have to spend a lot of time, if ever, jogging the prospect's memory about it, because they'll know right off that they just sent it out the other day. And as far as parameters for the leads, when you order leads, you're asked to put down any preferences as far as particular counties in the state that you're ordering them from. I will tell you this. We will do the very, very best we can do to first fill those leads in counties that you've mentioned. But at the same time, I want you to know, and I'm taking some liberties here, because someone who's been an end user for many, many years in lead programs like this, in mortgage lead programs specifically, I want a good quality lead. I don't care if we're talking, for instance, in the state of Florida, if it's in the county I reside in, or if it's 400 miles away. I'm fully capable of doing e-apps and working on the phone, and I want as many quality leads as I can. So that's the parameter I use. I will try to get as many leads, as I say, from the particular county stated, but I don't want to sacrifice quality. I want to give each and every agent the best bang for their buck as far as the value of each lead.
Yeah, let me just say one thing. I think it's important for everybody to know, if you want to request your counties, if it's at least maybe 3 or 4, that would be great. The more the better, obviously, and he will do as good a job as possible to try to fill those specific counties. And if not, there's going to be a county or 2 over, as close as they can possibly get those leads. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, so let's move forward here to number 2. What are some keys to being successful with this program? Any tips, Stephen, any advice you can give our agents to really make the program pop for them?
Well, speaking from personal experience, as well as what I've seen from the successful agents within the Levinson Group, I can tell you that an agent that has not participated as up to this point really needs to make some type of commitment. You know, lightning can strike in a bottle at any time. So, I mean, you could order once and say, well, I'll give it a shot one time. But the chances are that will that show you a full picture of what this program means to you? I don't believe so. So, candidly speaking, I'm not trying to sell agents on long-term commitments. By any means, no. I'll let the results speak for themselves. But at the same time, I want an agent to give themselves a good sample of what this program can do. And so financially, you have to look within yourself and say, what are you willing to invest in yourself, in your ability, okay, as a salesperson in the insurance business? And from my perspective, I say if you can give at least 3 to 5 orders, which will allow you to touch on a good many prospects right from the beginning, as well as a lot of follow-ups within those same prospects, that will harvest you, I believe, the results that you can then say, hey, this is something that I can really make some money with. Again, you can get lucky on one run, but if an agent says, I'll give you a shot once, and then I'll see how it goes, I don't think the agent's being fair to themselves or to the program. Also, as far as being thorough, being persistent with these leads, that's of utmost importance. And Kent perhaps is going to have some time to speak to that as an agent that's active with these leads. You've got to be comfortable on the phone. You've got to remember that this is going to be your primary source of communication with most of these respondents. You got to ask questions. You got to ask probing questions. You need to try to develop as full a picture of these prospects, of each and every prospect as possible, what their lives are like, what their needs are, because if you can do that, if you can get that type of interaction going, that type of relationship going, even on the telephone, and it's very possible to do that with the right effort and the right techniques, you will see that you'll get bigger sales, you'll get repeat sales, you'll get a lot more bang for your buck, so to speak. So the phone work that you do is of primary essence, I believe.
Yep. Also, let me add one thing. I think it's so important to realize that the true fact statistic is 98% of all prospects are not going to be sold the first go-around. It's going to happen with the second, third, fourth, or fifth follow-up. So a good follow-up system is key, in my opinion. Okay, moving forward to number 3. So, Steve, what are some realistic expectations based on your experience and feedback that you've heard with other agents, just to kind of give maybe a first-timer an overall 100-foot elevator view, if you will?
Okay, Bill. Well, again, as I said, an agent has to be willing to make some degree of commitment in themselves. That's what it's about. It's about committing and having the confidence in themselves and their talent. So they can order sufficiently where they give themselves a fair sample of what this program can do. Again, they'll have an opportunity with more prospects, with more follow-ups, and more sales. Based on my own experience, and I was an end user for quite a while, and certainly what I see of the agents that are currently using this program, if an agent works it to the best of his or her ability, I believe between smaller basic sales, like just selling a small term policy to cover the mortgage, okay, and developing the real meaty, larger type of sales, I believe a realistic expectation is writing $1,500 to $2,000 of premium sold every week. Now, that might sound like pie in the sky, but when you think about it, is $100 a month bank draft premium is $1,200 right then and there. There's no reason, and I'm speaking average-wise. There'll be weeks that you may write, that an agent may write $5,000 of annualized premium over the course of several or even just one case, one week, and another week maybe only do a small case or two and only do $600 or $700 of annualized premium. But the fact of it is, when I'm speaking of as a realistic expectation of someone that's willing to put in the work with these leads, there's no reason that an average of $1,500 to $2,000 of sold premium weekly can't be attained.
Great. That's a great number. Okay, and of course I've heard Ken sell a few that are in the neighborhood of $10,000 of annual premium. So the point is that they're out there. But that's great feedback, Steve. So, okay, we're going to let's move forward here. Let me first say thank you, Steve, for joining us. We appreciate everything. We're going to keep moving forward here, and we want to take a second and introduce Kent, who, like I said, he's a very successful agent of ours out of Texas, and he truly is on the phone out of the goodness of his heart. He wanted to speak to our field force on his experience with the LEAD program, and I think as great as me, Joe, and Steve sound, it's important that everyone gets a real street agent's perspective of the program. So good and bad, like it or not, we're going to introduce Kent out of Texas, and the first question, Kent, is going to be from the agent side. When you receive the leads, what is your process from start to finish?
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for being on the phone. Yeah, I'm going to keep it really simple. You know, there was a time when I made this a little complex. You know, I put an Excel spreadsheet together and, you know, tried to document everything, but I'm going to encourage agents to keep life simple. You know, you're in this business to sell, so obviously these are going to be some obvious things, but if you're taking notes, now's the time, because keep it simple. Print off your leads. I print them all off, and up in the top right-hand corner, I put the date that I received them from Joe. Why is that critical? Because you're always going to refer back to those leads. There's going to be a time when you go back and call that lead, and you need to know how much that thing has aged. Third, you know, obviously start calling immediately. So you print them off, you put a date in the corner, you start making phone calls. You just get busy. We be willing to fail, and that's the key to this business. If you're willing to fail, you'll end up succeeding by just, you know, by going through the effort. And then place a date at the bottom of the page when you're talking to someone, or if you make a phone call. You know, I have certain acronyms like LMTC is left message to call. Some people like to leave messages, some don't. I haven't had a lot of success in leaving a message, therefore, you know, I don't put a lot of equity in that process. But you want to leave notes on how many times you call. So I would recommend that you call in the AM, and then you call at noon, and then you call in the PM, and for instance 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and then you call on a Saturday. And if you don't get a hold of anybody during this 4-call process, you're going to do it again the next week. So that's 8 total calls. Bill mentioned earlier, you need to recognize that you're not going to make the sale on the first time you make the call. So a lot of times it's 8, 9, 10 calls before I get a hold of anyone. And it's just basically what you're dealing with here is psychology behind what we're doing. The method behind the madness is people don't have good days. People have good days. People don't want to talk to you. They may have an argument with their spouse. They may have had a bad day at the office. You want to find that day that somebody's having a decent day and they're willing to buy insurance, and it does work that way, whether we like that or not. Once you go through a routine of calling them approximately 8 times, and again keeping notes on your lead page, you're going to do this for 2 weeks, and then you're going to take a break for a week. You're going to take that document or that lead and put it in a 3-ring binder. And with that date, you'll come back to it in a week or so and start making that call again. And so, Bill, that's the easy way to explain how to go through the process, is just never give up and keep dialing the numbers.
Yep, and that's great stuff. And once again, that follow-up system is crucial. Okay, number 2 here. What have you consistently seen in the LEADS program since the initial rollout? And I'll just add that Kent was one of the first agents when we came out with a pilot model that tried the program, and we basically said to ourselves, after 2 months, if the program is still working and these agents are making sales, then we're going to officially roll this out to the rest of the field. So he's been involved since day 1. So I think this is a great question for Kent.
Absolutely, and Bill and Joe and Steve know me well enough where I hope you guys appreciate this, but I'm going to say the good, bad, and the ugly. I'm never an agent that's going to tell you, oh, this is great, and these are all the great things. I'm just going to be right frank with you, because we're all real people, about the good, bad, and the ugly. The good is when you receive 20 leads, you're probably going to sell normally around 3 to 4, get 3 or 4 applications. You might get 5 or 6, but 3 or 4 are going to go through and actually be approved. One of those is normally a large premium. That's the one you're looking for. You're sifting through a bunch of coal to get to that diamond is what you're doing here. So there's one large premium opportunity usually in these 20 leads. For instance, a recent premium of about $3,000 annualized premium was written by me this last week on one of these leads, and he had a business partner. Well, we wrote another $2,000 case with him, and I'm about ready to turn that. I'm waiting on the application to come back, but there's $5,000 that was generated through a lead that came with a group of 20, and I probably wrote 3 or 4 more small ones. But I want to encourage everybody to know what you're really doing here. That's the good part. I should have saved that for the last. But the bad part is that 75% of these leads may not purchase. I mean, that's just the reality of the cost of doing business. As Steve said it earlier, you're going to invest in this business consistently, and you're going to have your ups and your downs. If I told you it was great every week, I'd be lying to all the agents. So the reality is that 75% of these leads may not sell, and you have to accept that and know that that other 25% is where you're trying to create opportunity. So I spoke about the good, the bad. Here's the ugly. People are basically not dependable, and so anybody that's been in the insurance business knows that people don't call back. So we have to basically lead these people, and we have to lead these people by being on the phone consistently, and we have to tell them what they need. We have to follow up. It's our duty and our job and our responsibility to help them insure their family, because this is what we do. But we differentiate ourselves as good insurance agents by being personal and by being persistent and being kind of annoying sometimes. And that seems like an odd comment, but we really do, because it's the ones that give up and don't make that 3rd, 4th, and 8th phone call that give up on insurance, and 5 years from now you won't have an insurance license.
Yeah, great point. And I hear that story over and over, and it's that old persistency record there, which actually we talk about on our last slide. Okay, so our last question for Kent before we let him go here is probably the most important. What are suggestions to other agents on how to make this program successful and work for them?
Absolutely. I would say that you need to view this LEAD program as a way to ramp your security of income. I look at the insurance business as there's 2 ways to make income. One is you drive security, and the other is you create wealth. Well, wealth is created on home runs. And I use baseball terminology because I'm an old baseball player, but the income stream, or the security, if you will, is accomplished by hitting singles, doubles, and every now and then a triple. Well, the singles aren't any fun. They're anywhere from $15 a month to $130 a month, whatever parameters you put around it. But there's the ones that pay the light bill. So you ramp it up, and you basically are having a good spirit about just closing a deal and getting an application, because if you sell enough of the small ones, a big one will come. So you hit a lot of singles, you get some doubles, every once in a while you get a triple, and possibly a home run will come a couple times a year. And there's some big ones out there if we just have the conversation with people. And I would encourage everyone to ask everybody on the phone, if they start talking about insurance, well, you do currently have insurance. When did you write that insurance, and how many years do you have left in it? Because what people don't realize is they approach 50, 60 years old, that insurance starts increasing dramatically, and it's better to rewrite it with 5 years remaining so you can lock them into a guaranteed premium for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years. So number one, be the first to call is something that you want to consider here. Be the first to call when you get these leads. Number 2, be persistent. Number 3, be consistent. And number 4, be decisive. In other words, I tell you to make 8 phone calls and get after it and put them in a 3-ring binder, but don't beat yourself down just because people are saying no. Some will, some won't, so what? So you have to have the right spirit for this business. And just remember, this is a program that averages out over a course of a year. You may have a bad week, you may have a bad month, but if you keep investing in this program, you have to think about the average that it produces as far as income over a 12-year span and a 12-year period. It does work. There are months and seasons. For instance, August is a tough time because everybody's on vacation. December can be tough because everybody's, shopping and all the things. So be strategic about how you build your business, but the most important thing is to be consistent in how you build it and be willing to invest, because that's the only way this business can be built. Thank you, everybody, and I hope everybody succeeds in the business.
Thank you very much, Ken. Great job. Okay, so this is our last slide here, and I want to thank once again the speakers today. That was great. By the way, we do these on a monthly basis, and we're going to pick different topics, ideas for every call now moving forward. So very important to be in the loop and be on the lookout for any email blasts that you see about our exclusive lead program. So we did get one question during Kent's speech there, and it was, is there a particular term product or company that is popular with agents using the program? So what we really want to encourage is you need to know your ways around the website, the term quote engine, because, in some cases, and Ken can even tell you better than I can, but in some cases you're going to have the least expensive premium for that 20-year term $100,000 product. But in other cases, you got to kind of feel out every situation. You'll be able to use, say, a simplified issue $100,000 20-year term product where you can sell them over the phone, use an e-application or drop ticket over the phone, so you could be in and out in less than 10 minutes and have a policy on their doorstep within a week. Now, it's going to cost a little bit more than that fully underwritten, cheapy term product, so it all depends on each scenario. What I will say is call any of our marketers or even myself, and we will talk about which are the go-to companies and products to use for the program. So we have no problem doing that. And we'll, of course, we're going to send out an email after today's call with all the brochures. We'll highlight some products, so that will help you as well. And like I said, email or call us at any time. So we put together some agent lead resources. We call it the FAQs program. We have sample lead scripts, and we have different email campaigns that Joe has put together. I'll let him touch on this, and then we'll close up for today's call. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So what we did, obviously we'll send out the sample lead scripts and the FAQ form, but we also give all agents access to a great email platform, and we actually take different templates specifically on, getting term insurance to cover the mortgage, or maybe if something happens, there's a disability or a critical illness, what type of insurance needs to be in place. So I definitely highly recommend that as you're going through these different leads, if you can't get a hold of someone or they're on the fence about purchasing, send them a periodic email. You can actually set up a campaign through this platform we developed and actually use those templates to drip market on those clients. Like Bill mentioned earlier on, a lot of those sales are not made on the first call. They're made on the third to sixth to seventh call, and being able to drip on those clients with different email topics on something you've talked about in the past is not only going to help keep your name in front of them, but it's going to help bring about that fifth to sixth to seventh contact that you need to get that comfort level up to actually make that sale. So I'd use that program religiously, especially because all those templates are already populated for you. It's very simple and very, very easy to use, and we can help get that started for you as early as today.
Okay, thanks, Joe. And this is our last slide here, wrapping up. And one thing you want to take away from this is we're here to hold your hand every step of the way. That's with this program or anything else that we offer here at Levinson. So I think what we all learned here is we have to follow up. Most of these sales are made through the 5th to 12th follow-up call. That's a LIMRA statistic. That's a fact. So don't forget that. Number 5 to 12, it's all about follow-up and persistence. We'll end with this last thing. In the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength,